line of scrimmage here.
Jin just dancing with the devil there. It seems like we've seen a couple members from different teams just kind of playing a little footsie in the river there in the beginning of these matches.
And I always want to look at junglers right away, and they're both starting bot side, and I do believe they both want to 3 camp and look. But Kha'Zix, I think another good option for him is full ping, so we'll have to see where Kha'Zix goes. I think we know where Jarvan's going. I think he's going after Romp right after blue and then straight to red. We see question mark pings coming on to red buff for BAR, so Miami is perhaps unaware of Jarvan's location, so something to think about.
Yeah, you know, the 5 points restricting anybody from getting deeper, you know, vision in on those buffs. And was there a leash from Bar there? I honestly wasn't paying good enough attention. So did we see them?
I think they leashed quick.
Which is maybe what's setting up the confusion with the ping. The question mark ping, there was such a quick leash that they're not sure if it was a leash or not.
And I think Jarvan is doing also Jarvan with 3 camps before Kha'Zix killing his solo target camp.
Yeah, buff round I think is pretty common on Kha'Zix. And then he can look, I'm going to guess here he probably goes to his wolves before he goes to Scuttle. So yeah, it looks like he's heading into wolves.
Now both junglers will likely take Scuttle that Kha'Zix will have him in his bot quadrant if you're going to take wolves and go bot after. And yeah, handshake early game for both junglers, and Jarvan with no early aggression. And it could be because of lack of setup in his topside lanes.
Yeah, but Jin here getting boosted chucked down to half HP, so that might cause them to look for a Scuttle skirmish here. We'll see if Jin wants to freeze the wave up here, or if he wants to shove it in. It looks like they're going to go ahead and give it over. Jarvan's still clearing his Krugs.
Yep, so blue side will get top grab. Also, we did see Naama the Geek trading flashes with Hamlet here, so if you go ahead and time that flash at about 8:15, if he returns to that lane, but other than a speed up, Hamlet rather defenseless. And I think we do see Jarvan go ahead and take his Krugs and get away, but Kha'Zix using his top side to go ahead and take Raptors. So Kha'Zix one counter double advantage, I guess you could say, but Jarvan getting his bot crab now as well.
Yeah, so they don't have vision down in the topside jungle, so they don't know Kha'Zix is there, but I'm just surprised at how deep Hamlet is playing that lane after burning his flash there. I guess it was a trade, so maybe he feels the threat isn't that strong without Kha'Zix's flash as well. You know, so he knows he's topside, he's playing on bot side of the lane, but pretty confident.
Yeah, he was confident. I think it probably has something to do with where he came in was at the time versus where
getting the bot Scuttle. Yeah.
So now with the push, Cillian actually looking to roam. They want to get tabs on the Kha'Zix off reset. A lot of junglers, when they reset and go back out around the 4 or 5 minute mark, 4:45, something like that, Krugs will come back. This is a good time for top laners with push to ward Krugs or bot laners, but we saw Zillion and Jarvan entering the red quadrant for on behalf of BAR to hopefully spot out Kha'Zix, and I think they might when he passed towards his Raptors.
I agree. They do have very good ward control down on the bot side of the enemy jungle. They have a try as well as Raptors, so gonna be spotted there, and they really only have 1 ward near the Raptors in Bar's jungle, so as long as... I'm going to assume they're tracking Jarvan fairly well, but he's basing here, so they're not going to see him on that ward.
Yeah, we saw them pinging Jarvan's camps, right? And now Jarvan with a late first reset will now probably head towards his Krug. So your timing...
Those were BAR's pings there, so it wasn't Miami pinging the camps.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Maybe he was pinging his path, what he was getting ready to do.
To let the team know when he'd be around.
And we might see Kha'Zix bump into Jarvan here if he chooses to invade and look for him. But same thing, you know, around this 5 minute-ish mark, you can expect these junglers to be off their first reset. Krugs wouldn't be too surprising to find Jarvan there. So.
Yeah, we did. So you are correct. We did see the reset off of both of them. Now they're both starting topside. I'm going to assume the plan for both junglers is to path towards bot because Dragon is up. I think, like we said before, VAR is going to want to look to have control of the Dragon, of these objectives before Miami can get there, so that they have the threat of their wombo combo set up in the pit. So I'd like to see how this plays out.
And one last thing they need before any Drake happenings would be ult, right? So Ezreal needs 2 levels. The solo laners have it, but Ezreal and Applause need to get those levels as well as K-Man before first Drake. But other than that, I think you're spot on what their game plan will be. But
Yeah, do you think we're going to see a fight over this first Dragon? Both top laners have TP.
K-Man will EQ and gets Elementin's flash, so pretty good trade here. We see a 2v2. I don't think anything comes out of this. And also, everybody's trading with Pressure Mountain before Drake. Trade of ultis here in top side. Lucent would win it out, but Jin with the flash, so...
Yeah, respecting the threat from Renekton. A lot of players, you don't see that. They underestimate the damage that Renekton has so early, even though he has just a Vamp Scepter. He probably, you know, if he landed the combo there, he probably was going to pick up the kill on Jin, so just playing it safe. Doesn't want to give it away too much in the early game, but now he needs to be careful because Lucent does have flash as well as TP.
Yeah, and Renekton, a disgusting, gross, abusable champion, can often dive champs like Kennen half health there, but without ulti, I don't think he will this time. But it's just so easy to drop so much damage with Renekton, so yeah, Jin having a flash out there.
Yeah, it looks like Jin looking to reset here. Now, the question is he going to burn the TP to get back in the top lane and catch this farm? He is. So now they're going to be at a disadvantage if they go for the Dragon play this early. So maybe their play here is to have vision control around Dragon and then wait it out for the TP to come back, or maybe having him push the lane and walk down. But
yeah, it's definitely good that you pointed that out. I think that TP usage is something to talk about. It does mean that they won't have 5 members bot for a long time, and maybe they're just going, hey, let's scale late, and Jin saying, I can't fall any further behind Renekton.
So if we're looking at these two teams, my initial speculation is that Bar is going to scale better into the late game because of the Renekton, but Senna and Orianna are extremely good into the late game as they scale.
And the no flash punish out of the K-Man here, dropping that Cataclysm on the flashless Elementin. Remember, they got that Orianna flash not long ago, and yeah, while that was happening, Drake will go over to Miami in that Kha'Zix, where I think because of the Kennen TP top, they look to go ahead and do that. But K-Man using that time window where Kha'Zix is busy to revisit mid and punish that flashless Orianna, like we talked about in Champ Select, pretty easy for Jarvan to do.
Yeah, great trade there, and we see MF ulti to clear the wave. Didn't want the wave pushing into tower with how low she was. Probably gonna, yeah, we're seeing her reset here as well. So kind of a pretty slow game forming out here. I think both teams are, you know, respecting each other here and trying to keep the game as clean as possible. You know, we're getting into, this is the game for who's going to take first place.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Both teams here playing at their best. You know, they don't want to give up that first place spot.
Yeah, and I do like that it is pretty close as we reach the 10-minute mark. Gold is about 500 for the kill, but then the Ocean Drake going over to Miami. I think you're happy if you're in Miami right now, especially if you're going to get this Herald Renekton abuse here, just taking Herald, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. Well,
yeah, so we see
I shouldn't
4 members
say that.
Here. K-Man, oh no, K-Man's in trouble.
The Orianna R will interrupt K-Man's EQ combo, leaving him, you know, immobile, and he just drops there, and they get the Herald on top of it. So really good play by Miami. It's really unfortunate K-Man couldn't just EQ out of that situation.
Yeah.
But maybe well timed by Elementin saying, I got you back with one.
So if we take a look at items here, I think as far as mid lane goes, both members having their lost chapters. So I'm not necessarily sure at this point in the lane, you know, which one has the advantage. We see Zillion's up a little bit of farm, but maybe not making that much of an impact on the buys.
So Galio with a 2-man taunt. This is a 3v2 situation for Miami. It's going to be a 3v3 soon. A 2v1 topside where Jin will hold his own. Now we see Galio ult out defensively. K-Man goes in. Cataclysm goes down. Ori's still no flash, but did he go too far? Galio forcing the taunt to kind of peel where it's maybe on Hamlet to hit a double bomb. He does. MF drops ulti. K-Man goes back in. And Orianna down again. No flash on that champion. It's coming up right now, but good punish for
Yeah,
BR.
I think for us here, that play was unfolding a little bit worrisome there. Teams members falling low, K-Man going in as Galio is ulting out. It looked like maybe he was going a little bit too deep, but Hamlet showing up at the perfect time, setting up for the Ezreal combo, and it's a little weird when I'm calling him by his name.
I know.
Because he's playing MF.
I know.
So the MF ulti
weird.
coming out,
Yeah.
just doing big damage on them here, so they need to be careful. If they get hit by a hook here, they may be in trouble.
Yeah, I'm with you, Chai. I think that play was a little bit sketch for VAR, but because they had members advantage, because there was a play happening topside with members for Miami, it ended up being that VAR just had 4v3, so when Hamlet did stroll up, one double bomb meant Orianna was dead.
Yeah.
But Miami with the neutrals advantage. So again, down 500 gold, but up in neutrals they have Ripped Herald on Kha'Zix, who's looking to be active in the river here. Not too afraid from Jarvan as we see Jarvan walking away. Oh, and that disgusting Kha'Zix damage. But Scumbag Chain Yun will flash just to KS. Just kidding. But it kind of looked like that with he will flash play, takes the kill. Lucent will approach Hamlet, who will just speed away. But I think they want to drop Herald with the Jarvan down. If they don't do it soon, it might be
right
late.
now.
Okay.
So
they do drop it mid.
Looking like Miami is kind of starting to take the momentum here in this game. Going to make it hard for Bar to get their footing. Like I said, both teams are playing it so clean that, you know, we don't really see any like big risky plays coming out. They're both taking it slow. So as you see in the pro leagues, with the game going this way, all of these very little leads on Miami are starting to gain the momentum and starting to add up. And when you're talking about this level of play, teams are making less mistakes than your average solo queue team. So, you know, it's going to be hard. Every time they give these little things away, it's going to be harder and harder for Bar to get back into this game.
Yep. What I will say, though, is one difference between this type of play and solo queue is these teams understand how to scale into the game much better as solo queue teams who will just tilt and baby rage and walk the game down. BAR will not do that. So with the scaling combo comp,
yes, it's only 2-2, and the gold lead is only about 100 here
right.
for, you know, but...
And here we go, Chai. This is what you were talking about. When this team makes it to Drake first, it's really, really hard for Miami to contest. So Miami, while they had the first two neutrals, we see BAR kind of with their footing now.
Yeah, they didn't even make an attempt to check out the Dragon Pit there. I think they knew that they had the pink down, they had control, and this team is not a team you want to walk into while they're taking an objective.
And, Try, you're talking about the mid lane. I'm glad you mentioned Hamlet is up 2 levels because of the flash punish on the Orianna twice. She died twice while her flash was down, but we see... Okay, Flame misses otherwise.
Getting hit by that Flay I think would have been big trouble for Ezreal here.
And he still walks up, so Ezreal, a lot of confidence there. But yeah, I think that Flay would have been really bad news. Anyway, we saw level advantage for Hamlet, and just wanted to point that out because we did have our eyes on the mid lane and how that would go. So, yeah, I don't think BAR's in that bad of a spot at all. But
I agree. And something I was kind of saying about Orianna is when you give away leads on that champion, you can fall behind very easily. And a lot of her spikes have to do with item points. And, you know, you see... Once she picks up the Lost Chapter, she has a little bit of an advantage in her lane, but now we see Zillion finishing items here, and she's still on the Lost Chapter tier. So you know, she's going to be really far behind in damage for the next couple fights probably. I'm thinking once she picks up maybe like the Ludens, she maybe will be a little bit more into the game, but she's still, you know, as Orianna, I think you really want to be at the item advantage. So being 1 and 2 doesn't look that bad, but I think it's pretty punishing as far as her mid-game scaling goes.
Okay, yeah, item completions and timings, things of that sort. Also, I think that's going to be a Seraph's Embrace, and if she's really crazy, she could go second is Spellbinder.
So Ezreal in a little bit of trouble here, but we see Applause coming up, so
The
it's going to
flash,
be 2v2.
Renekton W gets Ezreal, but he will be able to walk away as now it's on Kha'Zix to make the play, but TP comes in from BAR. Double TP comes in from BAR, and I don't think that's worth it. I believe Miami can just walk away, but BAR should look Herald now because they just used 2 TPs. They might as well go ahead and get a neutral with that, as we see Senna solo laning with Kennen. Pretty good for Senna. But we can expect BAR to get this Herald, and that would be 2 objectives, 2 neutrals in a row that they've gotten. But we'll see if there's an answer from Miami, who does not have Renekton ult or Flash.
Yeah, and so this is kind of what I was saying about the item disparity. So, like right here, BAR I think is a stronger team. Orianna at a disadvantage to
Double
Zillion.
bomb. Hits Renekton as we see multiple members engage. Renekton and Thresh. Renekton no Flash. He goes down. Thresh goes down right after. I think you're right, Shai. Just in this situation here, it's as simple as a Jarvan EQ, Cataclysm, or Galio taunt. If you don't have Flash on Renekton or ult, you probably just shouldn't be there. If they use 2 TPs and they have 5 top half of the map, I think you just give the Herald.
100%.
I think so.
And like we were saying, so what's the levels here? So Hamlet now only up 1 level, but still, I think the disparity between that fight was too big there.
Yeah, I think so. And really well played by BAR. All right, as the game stabilizes a little bit, and look at the gold, it's only 600 as we see another Herald crash. And
so we did miss a kill there, unfortunately. We
sorry,
were taking some notes,
something.
so we missed Hamlet dying there, and I'm assuming it was a Kha'Zix Orianna play onto Hamlet, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh yeah, really apologize for missing that. I was taking down some notes here as this game so intricate. I need to just get all the learning I can.
Yeah,
from
we've
these
had
players.
we've had so much discussion going on as it plays out fairly slowly.
Yeah.
We're just trying to analyze everything that we can here.
Miami with a possible trap, but Cayman, I think, sensed that with his spidey senses and will EQ out. But now, pause on the approach. This fight starter, the engage member. Applause here for BAR, who's looking to be in a pretty good position. But you know who's going to be online soon? As I say this, Kha'Zix just completed Ghostblade and is back on the Rift. And the first Herald that Miami dropped gave Kha'Zix like 320 plate gold. And that was a ton. And that's why he has Ghostblade already. So he's the first champion here with 2 completed items, because his items are pretty cheap. But still, Kha'Zix, if he's going to carry this game, it's starting right now. He's online at 19-minute mark.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it, and I don't think it's possible for Kha'Zix to carry this game. I just don't. I think that BAR is going to scale really well, and it's too difficult for him to make plays into that team. Like, he has to get picks, or it's just not going to work out for him.
Yeah, well, picks, that's the key, right? So I think what you do is maybe split them at 4-1 and play with your Renekton. As we see, that's actually how they are set up right now. They're 1-3-1 with, well, 2 top, right? So if Kha'Zix is shadowing Renekton, you can either abuse the Kennen, who we know Jin is a smart player, already has his own, so that's hard. Or you just use the Renekton pressure to force members to you where you are then waiting. So Big D definitely wants to hang with his Renekton while he's strong. Renekton with Bork, one of the strongest one-item champions. But they are getting corralled here by BAR, who's sniffing them out. Big D, I think, is in a lot of trouble. He'll get taunted as they gang on Lucent on Renekton, who will be able to slice and dice his way out. He's got some rage to work with, but no flash. And I missed what happened to Kha'Zix. He got out of that situation and took Hamlet's ult down. Hamlet forced a flash. Galio comes in. Big D flash to get out now. So trade of sums everywhere. And we see the re-engage from K-Man here. EQ will miss. MF ulti with no CC means Big D, I believe, just continues to disengage. And what was that trade at the end of the day? A 1 for a Zillion ult? So 1 for 0?
Yeah, and that was a little crazy there. I mean, we had members of...
Thresh hook. We see Senna damage coming in a little bit. Not quite enough. The 5-man unit of BAR looking to...
Yeah, they get pretty chunked right there. But what I was going to say was that play in the jungle there was so spread out. We had members going for Lucent as well as members going for Hamlet on the side of Miami, and it was kind of just a really widespread fight there. I think maybe with a little bit more coordination, maybe let the Renekton go there and turn, the fight would have turned out better for Bar. But regardless, like you said, a 1 for Zilean ult, so not terrible.
No, and that Zilean ult proving to be the difference into the Kha'Zix. You've already stopped Kha'Zix from getting 1 kill with that Zilean ult. How many times are you going to do it? How many times are you going to deny the Kha'Zix from gold and resets once he gets his wings, right? That's such a huge interaction. And I might agree with you, Try. I would have to watch it back to look, but they do get the Renekton kills, so that's great. But we saw Mayamo Big D find his way out of that situation and killing Zilean. It's because he's 2 items. He's actually insanely strong. He's also up about 30 farm in the jungle, and that is not anything to just scoff at.
Yeah,
Kha'Zix is big. I think he could do it with the perfect game state and correct play from his teammates.
Yeah, you know, after you clarified the play style that Kha'Zix has to look for to have a successful game, I do see what you're saying, and I agree with you a little bit. So as long as Miami plays it properly and the Kha'Zix is shadowing where he needs to be to make plays on that champion, and they could definitely do that properly. We've seen this team play before, and they're very organized. I'm assuming exactly what you're saying. They have had that game plan from the start, and as long as they execute it properly, Kha'Zix could get into this game. Like you said, he has the 30 farm lead. If we're looking at the farm for the rest of the lanes, pretty even here. So only about a 1K gold lead for Miami. So I think as long as they're
Here's the
looking
setup.
here.
Lucian will stun up Hamlet, who have to immediately all drops to Mayama Big D. Zilean, a champ hard to side lane with. He will Zanya's again.
So he's stalling for the team here, I think, but it's not going to be in time.
No, he will drop anyway. So that was his R, and then Zanya's 2 things still had back rather quickly. And I don't think BAR can respond to this, but we saw the Renekton setting up the Kha'Zix like we talked about. Another kill. He finally has a bounty on his head, Big D. And this champion can be insane, but Try, I'm with you in terms of team comps and actual 5v5. Really hard for Kha'Zix. Split map situations, not so much.
Yeah. So give me a little bit of rundown. Like, how do you see Bar playing out this game? If Miami goes for a split playstyle with the Kha'Zix shadowing, can they still group as 5 and just win it out by playing the 5-man? Or are they going to struggle with that split and be in trouble and having to, you know, who's going to have to play into who, I guess, is kind of the question I have.
I think with this situation, Jin will have to just play it 1v2. And one of the reasons you pick Kennen, not only is he pretty good in the Renekton, but he's hard to dive, right? He already has Zonias, he's pretty slippery as a champion. So I believe Jin is aware of the game enough to where he will 1v2 the Renekton Kha'Zix. Anytime those 2 champions are together, BAR will win on the opposite half of the map.
Good point. And it will be difficult for them to take out the Kennen with his ult as well as Zonia's. If he plays it right, if he positions well, he will either win it out through damage or be able to stun them up with ulti and the passive stun and then able to get out.
Yeah, as we see, I think that was massive Kha'Zix damage. Hook will go wide. Good dodges here from Ezreal and applause as that mid turret just needs one more love tap from even a minion and it'll go down, but we see a big engage. Here comes the Wombo. It's the Galio Jarvan MF ulti, and they will only take down Orianna, but I believe Thresh is next on the rack. They will take him down. That's 2 for 0, and we finally see the BAR Wombo coming out here and just layering abilities on the immobile members of Miami leads to success. And what do you know? It's right before a Drake, so third Drake will go over to BAR.
Yeah, and Jin here basing so he can respond to the Renekton push, and BAR going to pick up their 3rd dragon here. Mayamo Big D, I don't think is going to be able to do anything about it, and now maybe they just look to reset and then group again.
Great job pulling the trigger right before that neutral. That's exactly what this BAR comp needs to do. And we saw Renekton able to pressure all the way up to inhib turrets, but Jin there to wave clear. As we see another Jarvan EQ, he'll miss Bien, who has heal and can stun him up. I think you're deep for BAR here. Oh, and the Jarvan EQ gets canceled by Thresh, so he'll have to flash as Lucent here, and he is an angry crocodile looking to punish Big D. We'll go ahead and scoop up that MF, easy peasy. And this was an overstep from BAR being punished by Miami, and I think they look Baron right now.
Yeah, so Zillion and J4 are going to have to burn flashes there. I think they went way too deep. Now they give up Baron. It's a 2 for whatever. It was a 2 for 2 in that play, and burning sums and Baron. That was one of those plays you really didn't want to make. I think if they were to reset there and get control of the Baron pit, it could have been vice versa, and Bar could have been the ones threatening the Baron. Like we said, they want to have control of these objectives.
Oh, here comes Jin with the ulti. He will get it on 2. That's tons of damage. Now he will Zanya's giving K-Man time to go in. K-Man doesn't have enough time. He dies, but Zill ulti covers him. But while he's dead for Zill ulti, Miami go ahead and get Baron, and they'll also clean up the fight. A few members pretty low. But at the end of the day, that's Miami's situation. Now they leave with Baron. They only lost 1 member. Really well played.
Yeah, so we do now have our replay set up, so we can take a look at that play again at the Baron.
And heroic efforts here from Jin, going ahead and stunning up 2, distracting 3, then drops Zonya's. Jarvan goes in, but it's not in smite range before he dies.
Yeah, so he dies
while he's dead.
He's reviving.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, while he's being revived from the Zill ulti, he goes down.
Baron dies while Jarvan is already dead, making it just a really well-played situation from Miami. And we see Mayamo Big D is now, he has 300 gold bounty, he has 3 kills. And we see the messier the situation is, the better for this Miami comp, especially him on the Kha'Zix. So they need to continue with this Baron to disrupt the map, split the map, and keep it not so one-dimensional for BAR, and they'll find themselves in some tough situations.
So Mayamo Big D looking at the red here. He might be in trouble. He gets the jump out, but can they set this up?
He didn't get that red, did he? That would've been...
No, he didn't.
Oh, and we see Cataclysm come down onto... is that both flashes? It is. Yeah. Mid and jungle. Big D and Oriana will have to flash out a Cataclysm, but they go ahead and settle for the MF. I'm not sure how he got...
Huge mispositioning right there by Ezreal. Walking up into the mid lane, trying to get into river as the rest of Miami is converging in from bot river and top river. It's really unfortunate positioning there.
And we see Miami looking for a couple more looks. Yeah, I think if you're MF there, you see Cataclysm on 2, and then you say, okay, I want to go help this situation, but they both flash out. It's now a disengaged play, and MF just wrong place at the wrong time.
Yes.
Losing with a big chunk, but Jin will respond, kind of wave clearing with Protobelt and ulti, feeling the pressure of this Baron buff. His job is to clear the waves, but at what cost? Now we see mid lane turret going down, and Bien, I know you talked about Senna when we were talking about scaling, and yeah, Senna can solo hard scale an entire game, and he's at 3 hours right now.
I think we can take a look here and see what her stacks are at. So she's at 72 stacks now. And that's dangerous for them as they're scaling into the late game. And now, because of this Baron, we're looking at a 6K gold lead for Miami, and they're really choking out Bar right here.
Yep, they have Baron buff in both top and bot now, and going ahead. And they will take a reset, but we see the gold lead kind of bloom. The only thing left for BAR is to look at this Cloud Soul as, hey, we're an ulti-based comp. This soul could be really important for us, and
oh man, yeah, imagine the soul on this comp here.
That would be pretty hard.
The issue there is, I mean, we haven't really seen it play out in the ideal situation for them yet.
But here, I agree with you, Tri. It's been a bit chaotic because that's because Miami has afforded to give 3 Drakes instead of walking into this river. Now they don't want to give it, but they're here first. As K-Man will already be tagged up, slowed, he'll have to stone play EQ out. He is chonked, and Big D will go in, and Cheng Yun will go ahead and take that kill. So that's Jarvan down right before Drake comes up. And for BAR, this isn't awful because it's only Drake number 2 for Miami, but you really need that soul to get yourself back in the game. But they'll go ahead and wave clear. At least they're not being pressured 3 lanes by Baron right now. They'd probably rather Miami take Drake than be pressuring them, so they'll say, okay, whatever.
Yeah, so I think the mistake there was mainly that they wanted, they should have been grouped a little tighter there as they're making their way to Dragon. And personally, in hindsight, you look at that play, and I just think that maybe, we talked about it, they want to get control of those pits early, but I think in this scenario where now your team is behind, you want to wait for the team to group up and you want to go check that together and not just J4 there.
Yeah, so good job by Miami to walk in together and use their soft setup with like Senna, Glacial, Ori, QW to go ahead and pick out K-Man, as his teammates were just not near enough.
Yeah, now we're seeing, now they're starting to take control of Bar's jungle, as well as, all the gold advantage they got from that Baron. And now Miami Big D 2 levels up on K-Man. So that's pretty big there. He's 4-0-3 with 3 items finished and the level advantage. So like you said before, Kha'Zix's an extremely difficult threat here.
Yeah.
And with the way they're playing it out, it seems like they're having a hard time dealing with him, even though that their team has so much CC and the Zilli ult, but not making that big of an impact on Miami Big D here.
I just think the scaling comp here in BAR gave away a mid-game Baron, and that felt really, really bad. But they still have win conditions on the board, which is 5v5 team fighting, especially for Cloud Soul. That's a win condition. Any Baron situation where they layer their abilities can work out. Kha'Zix turning level 16, he gets his wings so he can reset, but if Zillion denies their reset, like I mentioned. So yeah, they're falling a bit behind, but as the game goes on, the gold lead will matter less, and it'll be more up to can BAR layer their spells on top of each other on multi-members from Miami. If the answer is yes, they'll probably win the situation. If not, they probably won't.
Yeah.
As we see Cataclysm come on to Orianna, here comes Galio. She's flashless, so that is the reliability of that Jarvan-Galio combo. For any of you who has heard Jarvan-Galio combo but not been able to picture exactly how it goes, that is it right there, textbook. You take out Orianna because she is, I'm not sure if her flash is up now, but I don't think it was there. She would have used it.
Yeah, and so now we see Jin just defending the bot push from Lucent the best he can, but both top laners do have TP to respond to this Baron, and like we said before, now they have control of the pit. They don't have J4 or Galio ult, but if Kennen TP's there, they still do have the ult advantage with Zillion, Kennen, and MF, I think is really good in this.
Applause flashes in and tags a few up as K-Man will engage on Miami Big D, but I think it's peeled off, and all Miami needs to do is buy time here, and that's what they will do. As Lucent, we see him chipping away at the turret, and I think this stops Baron, if not stalls it, as Lucent we see here taking the 1v1. Jin able to use that base wall to his advantage, and yeah, look at this. I believe this is the Orianna TPing in on the flank, a big play by Ezreal with a couple big shots. And now here comes Lucent with the TP. Miami wins this situation hard. Probably will take Baron as well. As we see Hamlet flying away, K-Man EQing away. They're able to survive, so only MF goes down. But I mean, the ball is in Miami's hands right now.
Yeah, so it's a 1-for-0, but Renekton TP there, so Kennen still has it, so maybe he can get some pressure down in this bot lane. And after they make this push here, he's going to have to respond, so Kennen not going to be able to get anything out of Bob.
Ulti down for Galio. That's about it. Everyone has ultis here, but they have to wait another 20 seconds for MF to be alive, so they just want to deny the triple inhib here, which is the play Miami's going for. Miami, we see a hook here coming out of Changyu, and he won't take it. They could either triple inhib here or walk Baron or reset. Either of those three would work for Miami.
They have to be careful because now the Galio ult is up, so all members now alive for BAR, and they do have 5 ultis. They are lacking flashes. 4 members' flashes are down, but they have the Kennen TP, so maybe after they get these waves out, they want to look for the Dragon here, get control of that pit like we talked about. Dragon is coming up in 31 seconds, so maybe a reset here from Kennen, pick up an item, or just regen and then make their way to Dragon.
Yep. They have to go Drake. I think BAR is balls to the wall, whatever the next play, use everything and hope you win. Otherwise, you are choked out by Miami. So I think BAR putting everything on the line for anything, whether it's this Cloud Soul or a Baron situation. We see they have 2 pinks on Baron Pit, so they don't need to have any members over on that side until that vision gets cleared out. And if that vision gets cleared out, then they have to play the middle of the map. Right now, they can play the blue side of the map. And maybe there might be a trade situation happening.
So trading Dragon for Baron. So with it being
let me just say this. You don't need to trade your whole team. You don't need to have your whole team on Drake to do this trade. You could have one member just taking Drake, and then you can go answer Baron, but they don't want to answer. That's why they had the whole team do it. Okay, so they will go ahead and just trade Handshake, those two neutrals. And I think what you want to do is for BAR, you're just wave clearing. If you can get through this Baron and you have Soul, you might be in a winning position, but tough task.
Yeah, and so actually this Soul not too bad for BAR's comp. So, you know, I was thinking, you know, maybe it wasn't the best trade there. And I was thinking they could have responded to the Baron and maybe had won out that fight with all of their ultis and the team fight wombo. Oh, but
we see the K-Man with a huge Cataclysm followed up by the Galio ulti will come down. I think that's Bien on Senna. He goes down first. This is a winnable fight. Big D on the flank here. He's addressing K-Man, but the whole BAR team peeling back onto him. But we see Lucen on the back door. He's working on the second Nexus turret, and he's huge. Can they take him down? They have to be able to. His health bar drops rather quickly. Can he get that Thrashlander on a stopwatch? They will pink it, they will stand on it, and they will say not today, but their Nexus is wide open, and they do take 3 members here with their abilities, but Lucen doing so much damage to the base in return.
Wow, so I didn't, you know, neither of us were seeing that play as it folded out. I even pointed out that we had Big D in the back here looking at the flank, and then as they're all chasing him down, we notice, wait, the Nexus towers are gone.
Yeah, we see Mayamo, Big D, and Lucen are refusing to play the front to back into my BAR's comp.
And that's what they have to do to win this game.
I really love both of their plays. We saw Big D on the flank, not full committing and giving away his bounty, but just distracting. And then we see Lucen on the split getting structures in return for kills. I like this if I'm Miami, but we do see BAR with a breath of fresh air, some life, showing the fact that their combo can take out members pretty reliably. It's just, can they win the situation after that? The answer has been no until this point.
Yeah, and now they just need to be really careful, because if you let a play like that happen go off again, you just lose the game. So you need to be careful where you're engaging for this team fight, and make sure you have, you know, you're aware of all the members on Miami.
Yep. And this is really, really nice split map play from Miami.
Yeah, honestly, it's really impressive
play
play
seriously. Here. Great to watch, but we see BAR, you know, I said they know how to scale, they know how their comp works clearly, and you have to, against a team fight comp, you can only split so much until it's literally their Nexus and their team is in front of you. You have to get away with either fighting them or just backdooring them. My point being, they're going to have to fight for this Nexus at some point, or even more likely would be the Elder Drake. If it's a 5v5 and BAR just layers their abilities correctly, it could be a winning situation. They need that Elder, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. The Elder could be the difference. Oh, but Miyamo Big D looking for Ezreal here. Getting that pick would be detrimental to this game, so Ezreal getting away, but
yep.
They're starting to close in. This is where we're going to see them looking to choke out BAR.
Yeah, with mid... Oh, no, mid inhib is up. So Lucen is playing on the down inhib, the top half of the map, and we see
up
Jin.
now.
Oh, it is up now. Jin kind of chasing him around. So it's all about defending inhibs here. As we see, there's no longer Baron buff, so this is doable for BAR, and they just need to hold out until the right moment to strike. I don't think they... Oh, as we see K-Man, he will engage, gets Elementin's flash, but Big D is stuck in there. The Ori ulti will do a good job disengaging, but they can get Big D. They put him in GA. They need to follow up, but is Jin dealing with the backdoor? We saw Renekton take out an inhib. He's going on the Nexus as we watch Applause a bit too deep. We'll have to Justice Punch out. We'll taunt to reduce damage, just stalling for time. We see Lucen being addressed now. He's unable to backdoor the Nexus, making it a 1 for a GA, Big D's GA, for a kill on Applause.
And 2 inhibs.
And 2
so
inhibs
they take
will
top
go down.
and bot inhib there, and this might be game. They're taking the 3rd inhib, and Applause is down. So, okay, it looks like Miami pulling out now, really just trying to keep it clean and secure this win. They don't want to risk trying to go for the end here. Mayamo Big D, no mana, no flash. Same with Orianna. So, you know, maybe looking for that end there would put them in a poor situation for a team fight, but it's looking really, really rough here for BAR. They could still miraculously pull this game out for a win, but it seems like Miami just playing a clean game here, and it's only a matter of time before they close it out.
Yeah, I think you're right, and mostly because of the triple inhibs being down, they BAR had to try and stall that out because I think that is just too broken. Now you get double super waves in all 3 lanes. This is almost impossible to wave clear out. I don't see any hyper wave clear like Kale or Jinx for BAR, so going to be tough for them to clear the minions out, especially if they're all buffed by Baron. And then if Elder goes down, like, BAR needs to somehow get Elder, win a team fight, and then win 5 more team fights in 60 minutes they can win.
Yeah.
But for Miami, they just need either Baron or Elder, or they could probably just walk to base and end.
Yeah, we're actually, you know, game 1 of the day, just a high-class barn burner.
Yeah.
Hitting 42 minutes here shortly, and
you look at the scoreboard, it's really
we
cool.
see something coming out here.
K-Man, a bit caught out from just the Senna setup. He's in behind enemy lines in between turrets here. They'll go ahead and take him out for nothing. This is absolutely free. And this,
yeah, man, I mean, stalling it out as long as he could, but now they're giving up Elder Drake, and I think that's going to be the game-winning play for Miami.
I wouldn't call that the game-winning play if you were to review this game.
Oh, yes, I meant the game-ending play. Sorry, not the game-winning play. I think that, you know, they're going to go ahead and take Baron here. 30 seconds until K-Man is up. They're going to have Baron and Elder, and I think that's going to be it.
I just think it's unfair to K-Man to call that the game-ending play, because if you rewatch this game, you could say the game probably ended maybe when they got triple inhib, or even I would say when they overextended on BN in the mid lane and they
really
got
early, yes.
Baron. That could have been the game-winning play or the game-ending play, but triple inhib, Baron buff, Elder, everything. Here comes Miami to close it out.
Yeah, I think game-winning play wasn't the right way to phrase it, but I think it was the play that's going to end the game here.
The dagger, maybe?
Yes, the dagger.
That's what they use in NBA. As we see a full-on engage from Jin, who almost takes out Elements, and she will inevitably drop as we see Cataclysm coming down onto Big D. Where's the backdoor? I see Zillion dealing with minions, but as the fight develops, K-Man probably going to drop. This has got to be Miami's situation. Lucen here, 1v3 hitting Nexus, wants to peel back to his team, but will drop into GA. But here comes the support. Here comes the gang. And bodies dropping for BAR as Miami fighting tooth and nail, but Senna is free firing and underdressed, but she might drop quickly. She does go down to the MF damage, but the Nexus drops some minions.
That was a crazy fight there at the end. Yeah. It was like seconds away from it going over to BAR, maybe salvaging a little more time out of this game, not giving up.